What's happening, people? What's going on? What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Anyway, it is a Wednesday all day. It is a Wednesday all day. I was going to try to make it on here on last night, but I bounced around because I wanted to go, again, see for myself what type of numbers some of these caucus was doing. And the ones that I really wanted to focus on was the Coon Rapids and the Anoka kind of Andover area. Because that's an area that I have been talking about for a while now. The end of Champlain coming into Anoka, going in Friendly going into Coon Rapids. I have been talking about that area for some time. I've been watching it over the years as it has been going from red to purple to somewhat bluish. So I found out where they was having a caucus for the Democrats and where they was having a caucus for the Republicans. Not that I was going to go to caucus. I was just going to go to see who was there, right? Who was there, what was going on, the number of people that was at these caucuses. But before, hey, what's happening, John? How you doing tonight, man? Appreciate you, man. Always appreciate you. Before that, I was over at the DFL because black people, you don't usually see black people at caucus. You just don't. Period. Point blank. I don't know what it is about caucus. Black people just don't go do it. They don't usually show up. Until last night. I walk in there and there's black people at a caucus. Oh my goodness. So I stuck around for a little bit and wanted to check that out, see how things was going, and then I headed over to Coon Rapids. So I bounced around both the Coon Rapids caucus for the Republicans, and then I went over to the Democrats side of the caucus. I'm going to say it again. People can get mad at me if they want. And they usually do. Because they don't want to hear the truth. But I'm going to say it point blank. This is different, man. This is what's going on right now in the state of Minnesota is different. And here's what I'm just going to put out what I think, period. I don't think it's actually a turn of the tide. I think it's just people are opening their eyes and saying right is right and wrong is wrong. And if wrong is wrong, let's start doing something about that wrong. That's what I think is going on. I think people, like I said, I don't really think this is about a change versus what is being done wrong. What people see. Because when people can overlook some of the things that are happening here in Minnesota, literally just go, you know what? I don't really care about it. It doesn't matter to me, but this matters. Millions of dollars have walked out of the state of Minnesota. And people are not even blinking an eye at that. But a lot of people are showing up because they see something wrong things are being done wrong, and they are showing up for that. So I had a breakfast this morning, and I went and had breakfast with someone who is a Democrat. Not only is he a Democrat, he was Barack Obama's main speech writer. That's what he did. When he was done doing that, he became some bigwig in government, and he lives here in Minneapolis, and he is a bigwig in Minneapolis. Because if you want something done, if you need to contact somebody, this is the guy you deal with. And everybody has respect for him. They do. Everybody. No, doesn't matter who you are. Even the so-called independents, which really are Republicans, have respect for this guy. Goes to him for, some type of advice or wisdom. So he says to me today, I'm about to break some hearts, because I know how Democrats are when you start talking about Democrats. They tend to lose their damn mind. But he said to me, Rev, I'm going to tell you something, and I just want to get you ready and get you prepared. And I said, okay. He goes, if you think the fraud for the daycare was bad, he said, you wait to see what these people did with this autism. This is a Democrat. I said, I'm not gonna tell you something. But that's exactly what he said. And I said, well, why isn't there a push on this stuff? If we know this, if we know the traveling situation, how they got paid, how they stole money with the traveling situation. And just like you said, well, the Democrats are not talking about it. The Democrats are not opening these doors for this stuff to be really fully investigated. Because you also have to remember, in 2018, when Jason Lewis was talking about this, and then when the Republicans tried, what did the Somalis do? They start calling the Republicans racist. No, that happened. And what did the Republicans do? They cowered and left it alone because they was being called racist. If the Republicans are going to break this thing wide open, they have to start going after the main people. They have to start dealing with the the Democratic Party. Because as he said, if you don't think that money changed hands, you don't understand politics, Rev. That's what he said. So when I say that the Democratic Party got paid, I'm not saying it because I'm guessing. But the Democrats are going to try to protect themselves as much as they possibly can. They have to. They can't have this door completely open. And as long as you go and you look into what the Somali community has been done, when you have a family, you got 7 kids and all 7 of your kids get autism, but somehow, some way you get kickbacks from the clinic that you take your kids to. When you haven't, you bought homes and you're turning those homes, but there's nobody in those homes? Really? Even the Democrats says, well, you're right. We did not go check to see if there were kids in these daycares. We sent somebody out there. And funny, they always show up on the times that they're closed. Or they announce when they're coming, and then all of these kids show up. Again, I go back to what I said before with that learning daycare center. 1 minute, they had kids going all through this place. And then all of a sudden, they just completely closed down. How do you do that? How do you do that? See, we can play this. Oh, Rev, don't talk about the Republicans. Oh, Rev, don't talk about the Democrats. Really? No, it's not going to work that way. The Republican Party has to find some guts and muster. That no matter what they're being called, no matter who calls them this, 2025, Mark Coran sat there and talked about this. The problem is the Republican Party does not have power to do anything. They can talk about it. They can send people. Matter of fact, what was I watching today on Alpha? Alpha was doing a reporting from Washington. Kristen Robertson, Representative Chris, she's in Washington testifying on fraud. And Ted Cruz literally asked her and that old guy who ran around here with Nick, them two, her and the old guy who was in Washington testifying. So Ted Cruz asked Kristen Robertson and this old guy that ran, do you want us to help you? And they was like, yeah, we want. I'm going to say it again. If Donald Trump don't send in an army, I mean, I don't understand it. It just floors me right now. Why Donald Trump don't send in an army of investigators. Don't give me that. I know, we like to do that. Oh, well, he can only do so much. Bullshit. Get out of here with that. You are the problem. Everybody who says that, you're the problem. That man could do whatever he wants to. He can put together a crypto to get up for his family, can he? Millions of dollars. He can go and accept airplanes from Qatar, millions of dollars. His kids can run around the world making as much money as they want. I mean, Donald Trump can do whatever he wants to. And as president, there's no reason why he has to sit back. There's no reason why he's sitting back right now, knowing how much fraud and things that was done in the Somali community. He can send investigators in here and they can go through this place like a fine-tooth comb. They can find what we're asking them to find. Why he won't do it? Why don't y'all ask him? Ask him why he's not doing his damn job. Why he's not doing his job. He can sit, he has the power. So this numbnut, your president, goes to Georgia to get to election records from years ago so he can fuel his ego. He lost the damn election, period, point blank. There was no fraud. There was no election integrity. There was no Dominion machines that did nothing. You lost, Donald Trump. And all you cultish, fake, wannabe Republicans who got behind him with that crap, it's not true. But you know what he can do? He can send in people right here to the state of Minnesota, and they can find all the money that have been stolen by a group of people. Now, we can sit here all we want, and we can say it wasn't everybody. Okay, fine. It was 50% of them. I guarantee you that much. I'm not going to sit here and believe that everybody in that damn community didn't know what was going on. That's a damn lie. They knew. And Donald Trump, as the president of this United States, has every right to go in to every business. Anybody who has even if they close, even if the business is closed, he needs to pull every record, every dime, every check that was sent to these people. All of it. All of it needs to come out right now. I don't give a damn what the Democrats say. I could care less what they call him right now. They call him everything of the side of the world anyway. But Donald Trump needs to come here to the state of Minnesota. He needs to bring the FBI, the BBC, the QDD, the LMNOC. I don't care what FBI, every possible organization that we have here in this here United States of America. You need to set up a camp. You brought in that little short dude from ICE, and he screwed everything up. Yeah, you did. You did. You screwed it up, Donald. You screwed it up. Now you can make a difference, bro. Because what you did when you brought in ICE and that little short Greg dude, you screwed up, bro. You majorly screwed up, and you know you did. That's why you had to bring the Tom dude in here. And he ain't no damn better. You can't leave here with a loss, man. You can't come to Minnesota and act all tough and bad, and only thing you got to show for it is you put Don Lemon and Nikemi Pounds and you arrested them, and then you took Nikemi Pounds Armstrong picture and you lied about her. So you have to think about, if you want to leave here with a W, it's the fraud, bro. You have to go after the fraud. I don't care if one of these Somalians is selling a paper airplane on the side of the road. You need to check and see that they got their papers right. They got everything that needs to be done to be able to sell something. You need to come through here like a fine-tooth comb, like you have a sifter. And everything that the Somalians community has touched, from the buildings that they have bought downtown, the buildings they have bought on Cedar, the land that they bought in Llano Lakes, the land that they have bought out there in Lakeville, the mosque that they have and the schools that they have in Prior Lake, all of that needs to be checked out. All of it. Everything. Where did they get the money when they talking about building this mosque? I want to know where they got the money to even buy the wood from. Where did they buy the wood from? What supplier sold them that wood. That's how deep I need you to go into this. That's how deep I need you to go into this. When they bought a building, who did they work with? Who set it up? What real estate agent? For every house in this state of Minnesota that a Somali immigrant has bought, you need to find out who did they work with? Where did they get the money? We need to see the checks. I want to know every damn thing that they have done from the time that they set foot in the state of Minnesota. You better believe it, buddy. And Donald Trump, if you can't do that, then you're a coward. You're a flat coward. Period, point blank. Trace the money, Donald. Trace the money to where it started to all the way to the point that it ended. We will never get those suitcases of money back. Never's going to happen. That's never going to happen. That's already gone. They're living it life up on a beach somewhere. I don't know where that money is. We're never going to get that money. But there's things right here in the state of Minnesota. How are they driving around? How are they driving around in brand new BMWs? Make me understand that. Donald Trump, you need to go down there to the 394. There's a BMW dealership right there on 394. You need to pull every single record, Donald Trump, that's in that BMW shop. Every single record. You need to pull it right now and start asking questions. How in the world are you putting down $50,000 on a $80,000 car? Make us understand that. I need to understand that, Donald Trump. How are you buying up 4 or 5 houses in Indian Grove Heights? A place that you got to be making to live over there. Look it up for yourself. $200,000-$300,000 is average income over in Indian Grove Heights. Average house, $400,000. How you buying 2, 3, 4 houses over here? Doesn't make any sense, people. It's not adding up. The math is not mathing. And if you don't think in your little small brain of a head that the Democratic Party didn't know anything about boy, I would love to kick some of y'all in the ass. You just don't understand. Y'all ain't even gonna. The Democrats are the ones that was writing the damn checks. The Democrats are the ones that were going on Capitol Hill asking for all of this money for these people. Millions of dollars. I need you. What Forte, whatever hell his name is, Senator, every bill he put down on the desk that asks for money, I need you, Donald Trump, to pull every bill this dude had. You need to trace the money and find out where that money is right here today. Donald Trump needs to get this done. He's got 3 years left. Matter of fact, you only got a year to get this done. You can do it, and you cannot sit there and tell me that it cannot be done. I'll call you a liar to your face, Donald Trump. Them people stole money from the taxpayers of the state of Minnesota. They robbed us blind, and they living high on the hog on that money. Donald Trump, it's your job to find that money for every bill. Any Somalian who is in at that Capitol, whether they're in the Senate or they're in House of Representatives, you need to pull every single one of their bills that's asking for money, Donald Trump. And then we need to figure out where that money went and who that money went to. Every one of them. You're the president of these United States. You have the keys to do any damn thing you want. John said, we want receipts, contractors, builders, info, records. We want to see all the 999s need to be reported to the feds if spending is over. I don't care if they spent a dime, John. One single dime. We want to know where all this money is as of right now, today. Somebody got this money, John. And Donald Trump needs to start doing his damn job. He's not doing his job. Y'all lying when you lie and you sit there and say he did. His job right now, the only job right now that Donald Trump should be concentrating on is the state of Minnesota and where this money is. Who got this money? Where did it go? How did you get it? And what plan was there for you to get all this money? John said, I'm just saying. Oh, I understand what you're saying, John. It needs to come out, brother. We all need to know. You're right. You're dead right on what you just said. What was done here in Minnesota, you cannot in no way, shape, or form make me believe that it was right. You cannot make me believe that these Democrats, all the money that has been filtered through this state, you're going to sit there and try to make me believe that these damn Democrats knew nothing about, their hands are clean. You're out your freaking mind. You're lost. You're in a cult. This is what I'm saying. You got a blue pill and you got a red pill. Nobody wants to see clear. Nobody. You're going to sit there and try to believe that the Democrats had nothing to do with it? The Democrats didn't get kickbacks? The Democrats had zero clue that anything was going on? Oh, we just as surprised as everybody else? You's a damn liar. You's a damn liar. They ain't surprised. They're not shocked because they knew it was happening from day one. The Democratic Party of Minnesota knew it. All of them knew it. Every single Democrat knew what was going on. They have to just shut up. It's funny. It's funny. You ain't heard them say word one about it, have you? Go over on Facebook where the Democrats all hang out and say fraud. They'll try to eat you alive. They will try to eat you alive. Those are facts. Name a Democrat that said something about fraud. No, seriously. Name other than Tim Walz having to fall on the sword, and that's what he did. It was getting deep. Somebody had to say something. Somebody had to go out and fall on, and Tim Walz did that, thinking that if the Democrats in their mind was like, well, if we give them a sacrifice, what's the biggest sacrifice we can give to the Democratic Party? Tim Walz. Tim Walz go out, oh, yeah, it's fraud, right? That's what he said. He said, I take responsibility for the fraud. What fraud, Tim Walz? This is what I'm saying. No, Tim. See, you can get away with that with them. I want to know, what fraud are you talking about, Tim? Are we talking daycare? Are we talking medical? Are we talking transportation? Are we talking welfare? Are we talking autism? Are we talking travel? Are we talking homes? Are we talking fraud in buying buildings and land? What fraud, Tim Walls, are you talking about? Yeah, you said there were fraud, but what? Which one? He didn't tell us that. Democrats didn't ever tell us that. Democrats didn't say what fraud he was talking about, right? But he did admit there was fraud. But no other Democrat is talking about it. You haven't heard it come from no other Democrats. They're not going to talk about it. The Democrats will not talk about it. You know why? They're hoping and praying to get through the election. Shut up. Don't talk about it. Act like it's not happening. Let's get through the election. And then after that, it is what it is. But right now, we got the upper hand. We get to play on Donald Trump. Everything is about Donald Trump. Nothing about the fraud, right? Everything is about ICE. Everything is about these protests. Everything is about being fair and making things fair. But we ain't talking about the fraud. That's the Democrats. Ain't said a word. And if you do say something, we're going to sick our main dogs on you. And they're going to call you racist. And they're going to say that they hate you. And they're going to say you're so bad for talking about the Somali fraud. Donald Trump. Something's got to break before the election. You got to come in here and put your people to work. Find the money. Find the people who stole the money. Find the criminals and find the thieves. And then when you found them, you deneutralize them, citizenize, whatever you call it. And then you deport their ass out of this here state. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. I'm about being fair. Period, point blank. But when you wanna steal and cheat and then hide your hand, then I'm calling you out. The Democratic Party are filthy and they're dirty. And they know what they're doing and they know what they did. And they're not going to open the door. Donald Trump has to go and kick the door down. Hold on. Donald Trump, the president of these United States, has to come into the state of Minnesota with all power and all force that he has. And he needs to kick the door down. If there's nothing there, then there's no reason for to be hiding or nothing behind these closed doors. There's no reason to have locks on these doors where you can't get in there. If there's nothing there. Correct? There you go. There you go. You want to fix Minnesota? You really want to fix Minnesota? Start there. Start there. So the other day, how much time do we got? Or should I leave this till Friday? No. Let's because I was going to talk about this last night if I'd have got here early enough. But like I said, I wanted to. There's two places I needed to go. For sure, that was the caucus for the Coon Rapids, DFL, and GOP. Because I said it a while back. And everybody's like, oh, no, Rev, that's because of blah, blah, this and blah, blah. And I was like, I'm telling you, Coon Rapids, Champlin, and Andover is making a turn. And it's slowly but surely making a turn. I guarantee you by the next big voting cycle, I don't see, especially Coon Rapids, voting red. I don't. And it's going to move into Anoka. Champlin is pretty much gone. Andover, it's going to be some time. There's some people out in Andover that's going to be a little bit before they get Andover. But a lot of these other places, it's turning. It's turning. So I was asked a question, and I decided to put it on Twitter, right? Didn't think anything of it really until people started losing their mind over the question that I was asked. And the question that I was asked was, why is it that ICE is always in the black community looking for immigrants? Right? I mean, that's true. ICE is the biggest surge of ICE has been pretty much in the black community. I haven't heard him in Woodbury, and I haven't heard him yet in Bemidji, or I definitely hadn't heard him in Albertsville, St. Michael. Have you? I think I'm not sure if they've been in Maple Grove. I'm not sure if they've been in Plymouth. I'm not sure if they've been in Hopkins. I'm not sure if they've been in some white areas. Why is that? Well, I answered the question, and everybody, found a way to get upset at the truth. But I know, anytime we're talking race, right, you're always going to have somebody getting upset. But the reason why ICE is always in the black community is because every single time they settle an immigrant of people, it's always in the black community. Oh, so when the Hmong community came here, where did they stick them? In the black community on the west side of St. Paul. Correct? Period. When the Africans came here, they stuck them right there in North Minneapolis. When the Mexicans came here, they put them down there on Chicago. That happened. Asians, right there on the right back in the west side of, they always stick these people in the black community. Always. They're not sticking these people in white communities. Y'all know that as well as I do. So for you to get mad and this is what I've been talking about. For you to get mad and upset at the truth, there's got to be something else behind it. No. Because that is exactly why ICE is in the black community, because y'all keep sticking, and anytime these people come to America for some reason, they always gravitate towards the black community. Why? Because most of the refugees and everybody else is already there. So that's why they feel they have to come. So when ICE goes looking for these people, what do? They go to the black community. That's a fact. That's how it works. That's what has been done over and over and over again. And then people get upset when you give them the truth. But I've got to think, like I said, all the time, I don't just think on the surface. I've got to go below the surface. And a lot of times, anytime I talk about race or anytime I say anything about race, people literally get upset. And because of what has been happening here in Minnesota, that so many eyes have been opening, I can finally say what I want to say, because what I'm saying is the truth. You were told, yeah, you was, never to be woke. You were told woke was the worst thing ever. Matter of fact, you was told that we was going to get rid of woke. Woke would never happen. And the reason they told you they didn't want you woke is because you would start seeing the wrongs that was in this very system. You would wake up and say, whoa, whoa, whoa. The police did not treat this person correctly. That white woman, that the police shot the white woman in the face. Wow, black people. Well, how many times black people have been shot in a car pulling off and nobody said a word about it? You know how many times black folks have been shot and killed unarmed and nobody said a word about it? All of a sudden, these two white people get shot exactly like black people have been saying that we've been shot for I don't know how long. And y'all finally woke up. See, Trump didn't want you to wake up. Stephen Miller didn't want you to wake up. Huh? Ron DeSantis, the godfather of killing woke, didn't want you to wake up. But you did. And a lot of white folks on here, when I'm showing you what waking up looks like, they get mad at me. Call me names. I'm a race peddler. I'm a race hustler. I'm all of that stuff. All because I'm showing you that people are waking up. They are. But history, let's look at history for a second. That's okay. We know, and our history shows us, that there are white people that said, I would rather die right here on this battlefield to be able to keep them black Negroes than to set them free. Don't ever think that we don't have that same mentality today. I would rather die than have diversity. I would rather die than fight for a broke system. I would rather die to have fairness. I would rather die to have diversity. I would rather die than have diversity. Those are facts, people. I would rather die today, right now, than to have equality. Those are facts. And y'all know it as well as I do. We can sit here if you want to and try to play that little blame game, because I can do it really quick, put something out here right now. I can put something out here right now. And half of y'all, it will trigger you. And you would sit there and go, I would rather die than do what Rev said on this here screen. Oh, well, that's all you ever do is talk about race. No, if you ever notice, I talk about race when you talk about race. When you give me something to talk about, I don't just up and just talk about race. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't hurt your heart like that. Because I know that hurts your heart if I was to do that. But I wouldn't hurt your heart like that just to fly off and just start talking about race. Because you know what they always say, like the dude told me today. You always got to be the victim. I wasn't being a victim. That's showing you that ICE is concentrated in North Minneapolis and South Minneapolis, where black people are. That's not being a victim. That's showing you what's going on. But the dude said, because I said that, I'm a victim. That's what they do. That's what they do. Oh, you're right. Whatever it takes to shut him up, so we're not talking about race, because that's part of the problem. We have never really sat down and cleared race. That's why it keeps going. That's why I keep telling white folks, if y'all just talk about it, it'll be more likely to be over. But see, if you talk about it, here's the thing. If we was to really sit down and talk about race, then you would have to understand police brutality. And you can't understand. You can't. No. You can't. Why? Because if you was to understand police brutality, some of you would be woke. And some of you would be going, that's not right. There's no way that a cop should shoot you through your window and kill you. Philando Castile. There's no way a cop should shoot you while you're on your back and they're swearing up and down, Jamar Clark, that you are grabbing for their gun. Y'all would have to admit to that was wrong. Problem is you can't. Because if you admit to that, then you have to go against the very people you swear by to protect you, that you think you need protecting from people who look like me. Let's tell the truth about it. And if you don't want to talk about it, don't come on my page trying to shut me up, because it's not going to happen. I get the fun. Here's another funny thing that gets me. When I see white people come on my page talking about, you always talking about, y'all. If I could record some of these places that I go to and I get to speak, thank God I do. I appreciate everybody who has called me and asked me to come out and speak. I'm going to be speaking at the Libertarian. I know, trust me. But I'm going to be speaking at the Libertarians convention this year. I was asked to speak at their convention, Libertarian. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is this here. I don't talk about race to provoke anybody. I talk about race to show you what's right and what's wrong. Just like when I sit here and I talk about all these white people that's coming down marching. And the only way that the Republicans can wrap their head around this whole thing that's going on is they have to convince themselves that these people are being paid. You're like, there's no way, because that's not in your heart. You act like it's not in somebody else's heart. You sit there and go, there's no way these white folks can travel from Pipestone, Minnesota, all the way on the border of South Dakota to drive all the way to Minneapolis to be in a protest. That's like you saying that this white woman, she drove all the way from Boston down to Birmingham, Alabama, white woman, because her heart told her this is what she needed to do. And she was down there driving black folks from place to place to place to place. A group of white men shot and killed this white woman for her wanting to make a difference in somebody's life that don't look like it. See, a lot of Republicans can't understand that. So they have to say to themselves that these people who drove all the way from Pipestone, Minnesota, they drove down here because they was getting paid. That's how they have to wrap this around their mind. There's no way that somebody could care about somebody. That's what cracks me up. The very people, watch this. Prove me wrong. The very people who clap by the Bible all the time. The very people that in their bio it says Christian. The very people that every single day they try to put out a Bible quote, or they try to say this about God, or that they're Christians. They're a Christian nation. They're a Christian heart. They're Christian. The very people who swears up and down that everything they do and every day is about Jesus. The very people are the very people that can't come to grips that somebody has compassion in their heart, that they're coming down here to march because they see things are not right. They see that this justice system has never been fair. Those very people cannot understand that Good Samaritan would not leave a black man on the dirt. That Levite, the priest, and the Republican will pass that man. But that Good Samaritan will pick that man up, put him on his donkey, put him on that donkey, and take him to town. That Good Samaritan. Y'all cannot believe that there are Good Samaritans in the state of Minnesota. It's hard for you to wrap that around your head. You would rather be that Levite. You would rather be that priest than be that Good Samaritan. Don't try me. Don't do it. You know I'm right. You know I'm right. It hurts you inside right now. Yeah, it does. It does. It hurts you on the inside right now. But you know what I just said was right. If you one of those people who are running around here talking about that these people, now, there could be, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong. It takes money to buy food. It takes money to buy the hot chocolate that I drank when I was out there walking up and down the street. It takes money to get that stuff. I get it. But again, like I said, when the Proud Boys was walking around and those racist boys was walking around with those tiki torches, who paid for those? When the Republican Party here bust all those white people in from all around Minnesota to protest for that white cop that shot that black kid, who bought all those shirts? Who paid for those buses to get them there? So don't act like that the other side has never done this before either. That's a damn lie, and you know it. I'm not the one to play with, because I'll pull a couple things out of the hat that you can't even answer for. Because those buses that brought all them old white people that the Republicans pulled in down at City Hall, those buses were paid by somebody. Those charter buses, not school buses. No, these wasn't old school buses. These were charter buses. Them nice, comfy ones that you sit in. Them things are not cheap. So who paid for those? Republicans? Who? No. Who paid for the buses? That's what I want to know. Who paid for the shirts that you guys handed out with this cop's name on it and everything? Who? There's money flowing on both sides. So let's not sit here and try to act like it's only one side. That's what the problem is. I keep telling y'all, whenever y'all get out of these blue hats and these red hats, boy, we're gonna be able to tear this place up. We're going to be able to tear this place up. But as long as y'all sit there with these red hats and these blue hats, ain't damn thing we can do. Ain't a damn place we can go. Billions of dollars left this state of Minnesota. And you telling me we all can't get on board to say enough is enough? Where is our money? We got everybody on the Democrat side, they hiding. They don't want to talk about this. They don't want nobody to know about it. Everybody on the Republican side, they sitting there going, should we really say anything? Well, I'll tell you what, let's bring in this top influencer. Have to bring in this influencer when it should be we the people. We all, whether you're a Democrat or whether you're a Republican, we all should want to know where our damn tax money is. Every single one of us. We all, it doesn't matter who you are now, red hat or blue hat. We all should want to know those answers. But we can't do that because we got this side and we got this side. And we fighting. As long as we fight, all our money is just being swept away. All our understanding of who we are, where we are, fairness, diversity is being swept away. And we get nothing out of it, and we get nothing done. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why I sit here and I sit there and talk to my wife. I go, man, I just wish I had a magnifying glass. So when I'm gone, I would tell God when I get up there and God's going to say, Rev, is there anything you need? Well, not really. But if one day in the far future, can you just give me a glimpse of the world? Because I like to see what we done and what we left. I would like to see what have we done and what did we leave? What was our legacy to be? I can sit here and say my grandfather who marched for the rights for every black man who picked up a garbage can, that black man got the same pay as the white man who picked up the same garbage can. My grandfather left here knowing that he did everything he could do in the marches and the times that he ran off at the mouth. So that's what I'm saying. This is in my blood. This is what we do. That's the legacy my grandfather left here with. And it wasn't just the garbage man in Memphis who got pay raises. Once the strike happened, they marched and everything happened, and they start going, well, okay, we're going to start paying you guys a little bit more money. It wasn't just that. That hit all over the United States. That's what my grandfather did. So my grandsons are going to sit here and go, you know what my grandfather did? My grandfather did everything he possibly can do to bring us together so we can be united as one, so we can break down a system that has cheated each and every one of us. That's what my grandfather did. That's what my grandkids are going to be saying when I'm gone. So my grandson will probably be on one of these here running off at the mouth, going, this is what my grandfather did. This is what he tried to do. So that's what I'm going to ask God. Somewhere down the line, God, can you give me a glimpse of the world? Because I would like to see what happened years on after I left. Did I make a difference? Did I move somebody in enough that they were going to go out and do something other than what everybody else is doing? That's what the thing is about here. When everybody else is going this way, if we can get a few that can go this way, maybe something can change. Maybe something can change. Because that's what happened at the diners. There was a few at the beginning that sat there and demanded a plate of French fries. And white folks was like, get out of here, Negro. But more and more and more and more and more and more start coming and sitting down. And them white folks that had compassion that black people couldn't eat the same fries that they did, those white folks came and sat down at that counter. And the same thing is happening here right now in the state of Minnesota. There's white folks that's coming from Pipestone, Minnesota, that is literally sitting down at the counter saying, we want to make things fair. They deserve the same fries as I do. Just like the white man that walked off the job with my grandfather and said he deserved the same amount of money as I do for picking up the same garbage can with the same weight in it. It took white people to make that stuff happen. That's what's going on right now. And a lot of white people don't like that. This is how it always have been. This is how the world has always changed. John said, Rev, you will be cursed out with me and a lot of others in the pecking in the peak. It cursed me out every day, John. There isn't a day that somebody ain't got something to say about me. But that's okay. I'll put it that way. I'm just happy that I have enough people who know me and know what I do and appreciate the things that I do and I try to do. So that is about it. So, like I said, for those who ran across what I tweeted just on yesterday, I hope you understood what I was saying and where I was going with that. Another thing, because this is funny too. Dude tweeted out today, Republican. He says, well, look at this. You know, the very Republicans who swear up and down it's never about race. Oh, Rev, why do everything have to be about race? Again, because you put it about race. So he put out there today, look, the two main vote getters for the Republican Party was, go ahead, take a guess. Take a guess what he said. That the two main vote getters here in Minnesota for the Republican Party, people who are running for governor, take a guess what he... You think, do you think he said the two main vote getters for the Republicans who are running for governor, look at their character? Do you think that's what they said? No. Look at their character. Do you think they said, well, it's a female and a male? Do you think they said that? No, that's not what they said. They said black. That's what they said. Black. And I'm sitting there going, whoa, identity politics. Wait a minute. We don't do that. Lisa ain't been black in I don't know how long. So I don't even know why you threw Lisa in there. Lisa ain't been black in I don't know how long. So no, Lisa's not black. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Lisa isn't black. She just isn't. Y'all can sit there and try to act like y'all got one if you want. Lisa ain't black. Lisa ain't been black. I don't know when the last time. Her daughter had to call her out and remind her who she is. But what Lisa is not. So I don't want nobody else put on there talking about that the two top vote getters for the Republicans for the race and for governor in Minnesota is a black man and a black woman. Lisa ain't black. Lisa ain't been black in years. No, she's not. I don't care if y'all show me a picture of her daddy and he wearing an African Congo with a lion next to him. He got a spear and a bone in his nose. Lisa ain't black. Stop it. Stop it. So no, you had a black man, which I got to laugh at that too, but you had a black man and a white woman. It's what you had. Stop it. Stop it. John said, why does that shit even matter to people? John, it matters when they have to try to prove a point that the Republican Party isn't racist. That's the only reason. That's the only reason that was brought up. That's the only reason Lisa's race and Kendall Quall's race was brought up. So they can now sit here and go, look at the Negroes we got. And black folks will tell you, the Negroes you got, you can have them. Because again, Lisa ain't black. Lisa ain't been black in I don't know how long. And black folks should give a damn about Kendall Qualls. Y'all like Kendall Qualls. We don't give a damn about Kendall Qualls. Not a jack damn. You don't see. Go look at Kendall Quall's pictures. Show me how many black people are in Kendall Quall's pictures. There's a reason. Because we don't with Kendall Qualls. And that begins with an F. We don't. That's your guy. Y'all love him. Y'all love him to death. Keep him. We ain't asking for him back. You know, you ever see that So Dave Chappelle has this skit. If you ain't never seen it, go look it up. It's called The Racial Draft. You gotta, if you have never seen this damn skit, you gotta go watch both. He's got a few of them out there. It's a racial draft. You say, oh, I know we've talked, and guess what? Neither one want to come to no. It's like the racial draft, right? You gotta go watch this thing. Seriously, Dave Chappelle. Go to YouTube, type in racial draft, and crack up because it is funny as all get up. Because black folks honestly will sit there and say, we will trade you Kendall Qualls for Mary Moriarty. Even though Mary is who she is, and y'all know who she is, but we would trade you Kendall Qualls for Mary. Y'all take Kendall, we'll take Mary. Even trade. But go watch that one. And we want, and matter of fact, we'll give you Kendall, and we'll throw in Lisa also. So you get 1.5 black for 1 white. You get 1.5 black for a white. But no, man. Don't even try that. Don't try that. Do not try that. Kendall Qualls and Lisa DeMoss and put black in any part of the sentence when it comes to us and those two. It's just not gonna happen. No, it's just not gonna happen. That's like saying that we like Byron Donald. That's like saying that we like Tim Scott. That's like saying that we like Wesley Hunt. Now, hold on. If they would have been like the conservative I am, Colin Powell, look up Colin Powell. That's why I always tell people, well, Rev, you call yourself a conservative. You got to be blah blah. No. Look up Colin Powell. See how Colin Powell conducted himself as a black man and as a black conservative. See, my grandfather was a black conservative. That was my grandfather. My grandfather stood for what was right. Whether it was for white people, black people, brown people, orange people, or whatever. But at the end of the day, like everybody else, when you talk about white nationalism, white pride, and all this here type of shit, I got just as much pride as being black. Look, there's a lot of things on this earth that I can say I love, but one of the things that I do love, I love being black. Period, point blank. And you would never see me being like an A.K. Kamara or a Walter Hudson. It will never happen. That's why I keep trying to make y'all understand there's 2 types of black people. There are. You got your Lisa DeMoss and your Kendall Qualls type black. And you got your Rev type black, who lived of the culture, who believes in the culture, who works with the culture, who want the culture to do better. And then you got the other type blacks that don't give a damn about the culture, don't come around the culture, don't know the culture, don't understand the culture. They would rather take who they are and go assimilate to somebody else's culture than to be in their own culture. Those 2 types of blacks, y'all need to understand that before we get into this whole season of, if y'all going to be running around here calling Lisa DeMoss black, I'm going to correct you. You can get mad at me if you want, but I will correct you. We're not doing that. I want the Republican Party to understand something. We will not tolerate you calling Lisa DeMoth a black woman. Won't do it. Won't do it. Won't do it. I will correct you at every single turn that y'all try that. And they're going to try it. Watch. I'm not stupid. Anyway, I'm done. I'm finished. What time it is? 17 minutes past. Man, almost did it. Almost put it off. But anyway, hey, y'all have a good night. Tomorrow's what? Thursday. And I got nothing to do tomorrow. I ran all last week. I ran Monday, Tuesday, today, and tomorrow. I'm getting up. I'm gonna get in my recliner, and that's where I'm gonna be. Trying to find a new Netflix documentary. I think I've watched every Netflix documentary that's out there. I do believe so. But anyway, fam, I appreciate you guys. Seriously, I so appreciate you. I thank you all very much for coming and hanging out with me. It's been great. And let me tell anybody who's new, don't ever think that you can't come. I open the door to anybody. If you feel like coming on here and hanging out with me and talking and things, please, ma'am and sir. I'm not like one of the big podcasters or live streamers out there that feels that they can't open the door and let somebody else in. All thing you have to do is call and say, hey, Rev, I want to be right there next to you. I got a camera. I got a computer. I got a microphone. Let's have a conversation. I would love to have you on. I'm serious. I'm dead serious when I say that, because I get tired of talking to myself, that I love to talk to people. I got to find Winnie, too. Winnie, I haven't had Winnie on. She's been really, really busy with her show. But I'll get Winnie in here. I'll see if I can't get her on here probably next week. But if there's somebody else out there who want to come hang out and just be a part of what we got going on here, let me know. I'll be more than happy to send you this link, and you pop up right there next to me, and we can have a conversation. Anytime, any place you guys want to hang out with me. But if that's it, let's just say point blank, always put a smile on your face. And you know what you do with that smile? You go out and you smile at somebody so somebody can smile back at you. God bless you. Y'all have a good night. Peace, and I'm out.